PulseEffects, speedrunners finally broke Pokemon Fire Red after 19 years. As somebody that loves Gen 3, as somebody that loves Fire Red specifically, I'm very interested to see how speedrunners have finally cracked the code. Speedrunning is always interesting to me, and especially if they're easily replicatable enough, I'll even put those into my own runs. Hence the Ocarina of Time Majora's Mask engine, where you Z-target and walk straight backwards to walk faster. Get to Castle Town within that first day. Let's see how speedrunners finally cracked the code.
We are living in a day and age that I never expected to live in, because today is the day that Pokemon Fire Red Leaf Green finally got a game-breaking glitch that completely shattered the world record alongside player expectations. Because for the longest time, only semi-useful glitch for speedrunning was the glitch where you could farm infinite nuggets from the Team Rocket guy at the end of Nugget Bridge by...
No, like, he's not wrong. Yeah, he's not wrong. Like, this has really been the only major glitch I've seen.
Dying to him on purpose. But considering there are faster ways to get money items, it was deemed useless pretty quickly. However, the same cannot be said for a glitch with a name that you might be familiar with if you've watched enough speedrunning. Speedrunners refer to this glitch as ACE, or arbitrary code execution.
Oh god, I love this. That's actually how you get Mew in Ruby it's not Ruby Sapphire, RBY, red, blue, yellow. I like RBY. What is words? That's actually how you get Mew in RBY, where you have to do specific things, fight a specific trainer, knock out the specific trainer, go to a certain location. That's how you get both Mew. And I've gotten both Mews on one save file before. It's entirely possible. You're using code, you're using events inside the game to jerry-rig the code in a certain way to get a specific result.
It is
how do you do this?
Holy grail of all glitches.
Emerald is notorious for arbitrary code execution.
You can write functions into the game in ways that only a game developer should be able to do. And if you want an easy example of how broken a game can get with ACE involved, look no further than Ocarina of Time.
Was this the is this the Ocarina of Time on Twitch where they put in the Running Man as a boss and had chat actually like on screen?
Ocarina
was this that one?
Any percent literally uses a rock to warp to the credits in under 4 minutes.
What?
While the 100% category has you flying in the air wearing a tunic that you were never supposed to have access to. So with how wildly broken things can get with ACE, what does this mean for Pokemon Fire Red Leaf Green speed?
Okay, so it's we're talking about another arbitrary. There was a version with that. Okay.
Speedruns.
Wrong warping is wild.
We're going to be discussing how this glitch was found, how it affects the speed game as a whole, and what this could mean for all the categories on the main leaderboard.
Right.
Somewhere around 3 months ago, I posted a video covering a brand new glitch that broke apart Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. Soon after this video had been posted, Blue Magma 7, one of the top runners for Ruby and Sapphire and head researcher of this glitch, obtained a glitched world record of 1 hour, 52 minutes, and 36 seconds.
The absolute legend. Like, I can't speedrun. I really can't. God, these people are just built different. And I love watching. I love learning things. I love learning how they did it. It's so intriguing to me. And it's so cool to see all these records being made. I might not be on the running for any of them. Don't get me wrong. This is impressive.
When Blue Magma uploaded his world record to the internet, little did he know that he would catch the attention of renowned Pokemon glitch hunter Lucky Typhlosion, who stated in a comment on this world record, it took 15 plus years. But Ruby and Sapphire, and by extension all games from Gen 1 through 4, finally have a faster English glitch category. But Lucky Typhlosion soon realized that his comment was actually wrong. He had completely forgotten about Fire Red Leaf Green, which for the last 19 years since its release had not yet had a game-breaking glitch that was useful for speedrunning.
Right.
This did not sit well at all with Lucky Typhlosion, and upped his determination to levels beyond comprehension, because what could have taken months of research to develop only took him 3 hours to figure out. So
oh my god, this is amazing. Like, man, I made a comment and I'm technically not fully correct. Damn, I might as well fix that. 3 hours later, guys, I fixed it. Took us 19 years, but we finally broke it. Can you just the sheer dedication on that, like the sheer absolute just I love it. It's perfect. It's amazing.
How did he do it then exactly? Well, it all started with the mail glitch recently introduced in Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire.
Of course it's mail.
The way that glitch works is when you go into a double battle and thief away a piece of mail that's equipped onto a Pokemon, it causes weird things to happen to your game since you shouldn't be able to thief away mail from a Pokemon in the first place. Because when you do, it causes your game to fill in the limited number of memory slots that were specifically designed to store mail into it. And if you follow the proper steps with this glitch, you can do things like clone items in your bag or corrupt specific tiles on the map to access places you should never be able to visit.
Interesting.
With a discovery this monumental, you gotta kind of wonder if it could work for other Generation 3 games too, since all of these games were developed in a very close time frame.
Right.
But since Pokemon Emerald already had a glitch that let you go straight to the Hall of Fame, nobody was interested in trying it there. So instead, I decided to personally give thieving mail a test in Fire Red Leaf Green. And unfortunately, it didn't work at all. So a lot of the community continued to write off Fire Red Leaf Green as unbreakable.
It really, Fire and Leaf Green really have kind of stood as this bastion of just like pokes it with stick, break, and Fire and Leaf Green just refuse to break like at all. Mail says forgot. Like, well, it's because modern games don't have mail, right? I mean, like, remember, like, mail used to be a thing. We also used to have Chat-Op being able to have the DS microphone, right? And that's why Chat-Op was Chat-Op. Not because Chat-Op was good, because Chat-Op could be made to say some very sus things. Let's put it that way. But yeah, like, it's very impressive how Fire and Leaf Green have withstood the test of time and withstood many, many, many numerous attempts to actually crack it. And yeah, this man apparently did it in less the time that it takes to watch Fellowship of the Ring Extended. Like, it's wild to think about.
That is, until a few days ago. Because what we didn't know is that the mail glitch was actually still possible in Fire Red Leaf Green.
Really?
We just didn't go about activating it the right way.
Interesting.
And through pure determination, Lucky Typhlosion set his sights on all the moves that could interact with held items. After studying the logic of each of these moves, the first move he tested was knockoff, figuring out that the move could in fact knock off mail, even though Bulbapedia had listed that it could not. Lucky Typhlosion's logic behind this was that if you could remove mail by force the same way Thief removed the mail, the glitch might just act exactly like it does in Ruby and Sapphire. But it turns out that Game Freak created a table specifically designed to show which Pokemon were knocked off. This made it so that if a Pokemon was knocked off, it can no longer have its items stolen by Thief, Covet, Switcheroo, or Trick. Leaving the final move that might work with knockoff to be Recycle. And as it turns out, this move was the key to unlocking it all. And once Lucky figured this out, they would seek help from two other glitch hunters, Gifex and Merp. With their massive brains combined, they figured out that the mail glitch could be taken even further than item duplication, because the glitches they were working with looked extremely similar to Pokemon Emerald glitches, which if you remember what I stated about Pokemon Emerald, this meant that it might just be possible to also warp straight to the Hall of Fame. So the next piece of the puzzle became finding Pokemon that could learn these moves. And unfortunately for Fire Red Leaf Green, we are extremely limited when it comes to both moves. Because
I didn't even know Recycle was in the game, actually. I completely forgot about it. It's been one, so long, but two, like, yeah, like users weren't as plentiful.
Knockoff and Recycle are level up moves in Generation 3 Pokemon games, leaving us with only 4 Pokemon to choose from. Out of this...
Can we just talk about the irony that it's Porygon? Like, why is it whenever Pokemon breaks or Pokemon does something, it's always Porygon, right? Like Electric Soldier Porygon being a banned Pokemon episode for good reason, right? Like, I look at this lineup and I'm just like Maggie Smith as Professor McGonagall, why is it always you three? Like, this is the poster child of, like, why is it always you four from Gen 1? I don't know. Like, I just get this vibe from this. Like, there's something ironic about specifically Porygon here, though.
Entire list of 4 Pokemon, Farfetch and Mr. Mime are the best and most reasonable candidates for a speedrun, because all we'll need to obtain them is 2 badges, a Spearow, and an Abra to be able to trade for them. But unfortunately for Mr. Mime, it'll come at an incredibly low level, since whatever level your Pokemon is when you trade it to an NPC will be the exact same level you get back in return. And the highest level Abra you can catch is unfortunately level 13. This made it so that speedrunners were forced to train and use an underleveled Pokemon until they made it to Celadon City just to get Mime to level 33 in order to learn Recycle. Fortunately for Farfetch, level 20 to 23 Spearows are available to the left of Celadon City, making it a much easier journey to get Knockoff on Farfetch than it is to get Recycle on Mr. Mime. And with both pieces of the puzzle set, we can perform Ace on a few of the double battles available in Pokemon Fire Red Leaf Green. But before the battle starts, we need to lead with a Pokemon below half HP that's equipped with a berry that can be consumed. For speedrunning purposes, the hidden Oron Berry on Route 25 is the best and easiest one to grab. We'll then need Farfetch'd in the second slot and Mr. Mime in the back, equipped with a piece of mail. The goal here is to have the Oron Berry consumed before knocking off Mr. Mime's mail. The Oron Berry consumption is needed for the move Recycle to be used in the first place, which will then completely override the mail and let you activate the glitch. As the second turn begins, the Oron Berry is finally consumed, which means we can proceed to switch Mr. Mime in and aim a knockoff into their slot on the field. And once the mail has been knocked off, turn 3 is where the fun begins. Because while the goal should simply be to use Recycle on Mr. Mime, disobedience becomes an issue since level 30 trade Pokemon won't obey you unless you go out of your way to get a third badge, which unfortunately is much slower than brute forcing Recycle until it works. And once Recycle does work, you've successfully performed pretty much the same exact glitch as Ruby and Sapphire, just with a few extra steps to it, which means we can begin performing item duplication, filling our entire party up with mail. By putting mail onto every single party member besides Mr. Mime, then replacing the item Mr. Mime is holding with a vitamin, then swapping the vitamin for more mail in your inventory, the game starts to get confused and replaces the mail in your bag that you tried to give Mr. Mime with vitamins. HP ups and proteins will be the—
That's wild. If only vitamins actually worked like they should until, like, God, it was Gen, what, 8? Sword and Shield that they finally fixed that you could use 26. You could only use 10 up until that point, right?
The specific vitamins we have our eyes on, and we're gonna need at least 7 HP ups and 1 protein for Mr. Mime to have the exact EVs required to perform Ace. This is because the glitch we're about to perform alters the way that the game reads Mr. Mime's data. This exact amount of HP and attack EVs in particular will turn Mr. Mime into a unique species based off of its EV count. The species of Pokemon we're aiming for has a name that's way past the character limit set by the game, and because of this, we can force the game to perform an unintentional function. But before we do, we still need to put Mr. Mime into box 3 slot 1, bring a 6th Pokemon into our party with no mail equip onto it, change the names of boxes 1, 2, and 3 to these specific characters, then
this is the part where you're starting to input the code,
and equip mail onto our 6th Pokemon with the phrase wandering in the 2nd slot of the mail. This entire process not only causes the game to have an unintentional 7 slot of mail memory, but the phrase wandering in that specific slot of mail will then swap Mimian's EVs to glitch it into becoming the specific species needed to perform Ace while it's in box 3 slot 1. Now
this is wild. Like, this is some real big— the fact that this was figured out in 3 hours blows my mind. Like, the speedrunners and those that find these arbitrary code executions are just built different. I'm gonna have to go look at my copy of Leaf Green that I bought recently, and I'm gonna have to try this. Like, this is nutty.
All that's left to do from here is to unequip mail from all except 1 Pokemon in your party, deposit all 5 of them into specifically box 1, grab the corrupted Mime from box 3, swap it with a Pokemon in box 1 2 times, and you'll be warped straight into the Hall of Fame. Officially beating Pokemon Fire Red Leaf Green the newest and fastest way possible.
That's
for
nutty.
Someone like me who speedran this game for nearly 10 years, it's beyond surreal to see this finally happen. And none of this would have been possible if it weren't for a single comment by a glitch hunter with so much determination to make their comment actually right. So the final question is, what does this mean then for the future of Fire Red Leaf Green speedruns? Well, for one, a brand new 80% task for both Pokemon Emerald and Fire Red Leaf Green are going to be made by MERP using these brand new methods, with some possible research being put into Ruby and Sapphire to see if Ace can be found in that game as well. As for the Fire Red Leaf Green main categories, there will most certainly be a leaderboard split between glitchless and glitched any percent, as well as—
absolutely. No, there's gonna going to be a split there. Absolutely.
Research put into Pokemon Fire Red Round 2 to see if the duplication glitch is worth using in that category.
Yeah.
And finally, speedrunners have already started looking into an extremely hard manipulation in order to manipulate a level 13 Abra holding onto a twisted spoon for any percent. This item should be able to make it much easier to beat any threats Mr. Mime will be facing in the many runs this category will likely have. And only time will tell where the speedruns can go from here. I want to give so many thanks to Lucky Typhlosion, Giffex, and Merp for answering my questions and making this dream a reality. Please give these absolute legends some love if you already haven't. And if you want to find out when the next crazy thing happens in a Pokemon speedrun, be sure to subscribe to my channel and I'll bring you the latest Pokemon speedrunning news and content.
That was nothing short of amazing. And if you haven't checked out PulseEffects yet, you absolutely should. Like, the content is just built different, and these cover so many cool things. Like, I didn't know any of this really existed, and this definitely makes me want to try and see. Not that I can speedrun it, right? But to see what's possible. Maybe I could finish the games fast. That way I have access to the post-game faster. Thus, I can actually get my transferring and stuff up. Because I have so many games that over the years I got rid of, and now I got to go back through them all again. But between streaming and doing YouTube videos, like YouTube editing and stuff like that, and trying to not sleep all day because I'm tired, right? I mean, like, one of those things that I'm just like, maybe I should try this, actually. Like, wow, that is... Wow. But, I mean, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think this is the next logical step? Have you speedrun Ruby and Sapphire, or have you speedrun Emerald? Does this make sense as the next logical step? What are your thoughts on this? I'm very, very interested in that. And if you are interested in PulseEffects, you will see down below the original video as well as his channel. And in accessing the original video, you should have access to the other creators as well mentioned within. Yeah, no, this is wild, and I'm here for breaking Pokemon games in such very funny capacities. But alas, let me know in the comments section. I'll see you all in the next one.